So tell me, how did week 1 go? Were you able to take a look around and become a little bit more aware of how you're treating your body, how you are fueling your heart, your soul, your mind, how you are loving yourself currently in this moment? I hope that taking some time, intentional time, to pay attention to maybe some things that you don't normally pay attention to, or don't give a second, or don't look at normally. I hope that you did that this past week, because that is what is going to set us up for what comes next. Welcome back to the Self-Love Archives podcast. My name is Julia Salvia, and I am your host, your self-love bestie. And we are in a series right now that I like to call the Self-Love 100. 100 days of loving yourself more. And for the next 14 weeks now, until the end of 2025, I am going to be helping you love yourself more. Can you believe that there are less than 100 days at this point left in 2025? That's insane. Insane. The Self-Love 100 can be something that you utilize very simply by following the 8 different habits that I believe, and why this whole challenge was created to begin with, are so important in loving yourself. Because if we can create really great foundations for ourselves, we can set ourselves up for success. And success meaning it's a lot easier every single morning to wake up and choose to love yourself a little bit more. So if you have not yet, make sure to check the description, the show notes, wherever you're listening, link in bio. You know where to find it, to download the Self-Love 100. It is a completely free download on my website that you can get your hands on, and it'll help you track your next 100 days. So there are 8 daily practices in the Self-Love 100. And this is week number 2. So we've already gotten self-aware of where we're at in life right now. We've recognized maybe some patterns where we might be self-sabotaging, where we're really loving ourselves, and where we need just a little bit more love. Week number 2 is all about cleaning up your environment. It's all about decluttering. And don't see that as something to be overwhelmed, because I know we can be so incredibly overwhelmed by our spaces. But I saw something really amazing the other day. It was this quote that perfectly sums up exactly what week 2 is all about. And it says, "When a flower doesn't bloom, you fix the environment that it grows in, not the flower." The best quote. You are the flower. And if you are not able to bloom, it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with the environment that you are in. So, it's so important for our environments to feel safe, comfortable, happy, a place of our own, whether that's the environment of our homes, our cars, especially if you spend a lot of time in your car, our place of work, where we spend our time, social media. All of these places are due for a declutter. And that's what I want you to do for week number 2. Now, I know that cleaning up our environments, especially our homes, it can be incredibly overwhelming. So the goal is not necessarily to completely declutter your whole entire life in this 1 week. The goal of week number 2 is to start decluttering your life. It's to start creating environments that you want to be in. And you're not just going to have week 2 to complete this in your Self-Love 100 journey. You're actually going to have week 3 as well. So As I'm sure you know, I am hosting with my brand, the Self Love Archives, a giant self love expo that is happening on September 28th, which is a week from today, or a week from the date of this launch of this podcast. So you could say I'm a little crazy for also sharing this challenge with you in the midst of planning and building and hosting this huge self love expo. But I say I love the chaos and the drama of it all. And I really do. I'm exhausted right now, but I really do. And I couldn't miss the opportunity to spend the last 100 days of 2025 directly with you in this extremely intentional way. So, for the next 2 weeks, we're going to be focusing on decluttering and creating our environments to be the way that we want them to be our safe spaces, to be spaces that we want to be in and that we want to love ourselves more in. So there will not be a new episode next week, but I can assure you every single Sunday after September 28th, you will see me back here at 12 o'clock Eastern Time, sharing what we are going to be working on for that week so that by the end of 2025 and by the end of this 100-day challenge, you can confidently say to yourself that you love yourself more. If you are looking for tickets to Bloom 2025, our Self-Love Expo, make sure to check out the description. There are still some tickets available, but make sure to grab them fast because we are only a week away from this incredible event. If I were to take my whole entire life and be like, okay, where, Julia, are you going to declutter your life? Well, there's many, many places, but I like to start in my home. I spend so much time in my home. And I know that when I walk into my home, like if I came home from the gym or I wake up in the morning, when everything is where it's supposed to be, I just feel like I can breathe. I can see where everything is. I know where everything has to go. I feel as though I can focus on important things like doing my meditation in the morning or working on a project for my career or hanging out with friends. I feel like when my space is decluttered, I can conquer the world. Like I'm not focusing, like my ADHD is not like ramming up me like, oh my God, you have to do that. You have to clean up that. You have to put that away. None of that. So decluttering for me is going through a couple of different parts of my home. That first part for me is putting everything away where it's supposed to go. Even if the drawer that it goes in is a mess, as long as the drawer closes, even if it's a slight struggle to close, as long as it closes, that is enough of a declutter for me, at least to start. So for week 2, I'm taking everything in my home that has a place but isn't in its place, and I'm putting it back where it's supposed to go. I'm not worrying about if things need to be organized yet. I'm just clearing my space, putting everything away so that I can just breathe for now. Now, week 3 is where we get to organizing a little bit. If there is a space in your home, for example, your office drawer, you work from home and the drawer in your office is so incredibly overwhelming. Every time you open it, you're just like, oh, I just need a pen. And you immediately just want to close it back up. That right there. Be self-aware enough to understand that that might be something you should focus on to clear. And when we have this clear, clean space, we have the ability to think clearly, not get full on decision fatigue because we're trying to find something in a pile of a bunch of other things. And 3, we're not going to feel obligated or stressed every single time we open that drawer. It's not going to be an issue. It's gonna kind of just fall off that mental checklist of ours. And you'll even feel a little bit lighter because as you're going through these pieces, these drawers of your life, you'll be able to rid of things that don't align with you anymore. Which brings me to social media. Yeah, we're gonna declutter social media. Look, our social media platforms, we spend so much time on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, whatever your platform of choice is. We just spend so much time on social media in general. And if we can take a moment to understand this, your social media platforms are completely and utterly within your control. The algorithms want you to stay on their platform. So they're going to show you things. They're going to put things right in front of you that they believe that you are going to interact with in whatever way that might be. So, you know what that means, right? What you pay attention to on social media is going to be what comes back around onto your feeds on all of these different platforms because the app wants to keep you there. So they clock it. They're like, oh, I know that Julia likes to watch this. Good. Okay, we're going to show her this later. So if we're not paying attention to what we're consuming on our digital environments, you see how that could be a problem? Do you see how that could get in the way of us choosing ourselves? Not only that, the people that we follow. I'm talking declutter it all. Unfollow the accounts and the people that just don't align with you anymore. And if you don't want to unfollow them, totally get it. Totally understand. Mute them. We have the ability to mute them on social media now, so mute them. What you consume is so important. It can change the entire trajectory of your day. It can change the way you think about yourself, the way you feel about yourself. Don't you want the things that you consume on social media to be something that is kind and fulfilling and educational or inspirational, something and things that you want to see? And maybe I did at one point, but now in this moment, in this time of life, I don't align with what this person is sharing or what this account is posting. Unfollow. Unfollow. I don't need to see it anymore. And there's really no hard feelings. It just doesn't align with me right now in this very moment. I am all about curating the environments that I spend my time in. And my phone is a huge one. And I am sure that it is a huge one for all of us. On top of our social media, we could take it a step further in week 3 and take a look at our apps that are on our phone, maybe some text messages that are lingering. I am one of those people that never deletes a message. I feel so strongly about that. There's like every time I go get a new phone or I look at my iCloud, there's like 85, probably like 185, if we're being honest, gigabytes of storage being utilized just to keep all of my text messages. But you best bet I will never delete a single one because if you come to me and be like, he said, she said, I'll be like, nope, I will pull up the receipts. I have every text message from like 2012, probably earlier than that. Probably ever since my phone, ever since iCloud was a thing, I have every single message, every single voicemail, every single call. I just don't delete those, but they don't overwhelm me to have them there either. What does overwhelm me is having a notification there. In a declutter like this of my environment is I will go through maybe some text messages or messages on social media that I just have not had the chance to get to or have put off to the side and be like, I'll answer it later. If there's something in your environments that is overwhelming, ask yourself, is there a way that you can take it out, mute it, or not spend as much time there? That brings me to work. Sometimes our work environments can be unhealthy, or other environments for that matter. The first question I want you to ask yourself is, do you have to be in this environment? Is this environment something like your career, your job, that you have to go to in order to make a living? And understandably so. And there's not necessarily much that you can do in this environment, but there are ways that you can protect yourself when going into these types of environments, whether it's an environment that you're constantly going to, and most especially if it's an environment that you're constantly going to, or maybe it's an environment that you're going to once in a while. When I was practicing, I was basically taking psychic classes, which are so cool. We did this thing where you close your eyes and you imagine kind of this bubble around you. For me, that bubble always is basically my silhouette, exactly. And it's this sheet of light that goes all around me to protect me before walking into a place or a space that I know is going to be a tough environment for me to handle, or is going to try to suck the life or the light out of me. I always use and practice this moment of protection before going into these environments. There's also hand gestures like making an X with your hands to kind of push any of that unwanted energy away that is not yours. When it comes to these environments too, especially ones that you might inhabit constantly like work, is there something that you can put into that environment to make it more comfortable and safe feeling for yourself? Make it feel like an environment that you are welcome in, that you want to be a part of. Is that maybe buying yourself a small bouquet of flowers to have at your desk every single week? Is that clearing up and organizing some paperwork that you have had at your desk for weeks? Little things like that can make the incredible difference. If you do not have the ability and the opportunity to have a home that has an environment that you are comfortable, that you feel comfortable, and that you feel safe in, I want you to know that you can create an environment that you do. Before you go into your house, your car, make your car your safe environment. Maybe you're going on a walk and there's a bench on the way home. Make that bench your safe environment. Pick something that is outside of maybe this difficult environment that you're in to be the safe environment for you to take a breath, for you to feel free, feel calm, and feel comfortable before potentially entering these environments that don't make you feel that way. Create spaces that you want to be a part of, spaces that you want to be in, spaces that allow you the opportunity to think and to feel and to be, spaces that you could take up space in, spaces that you feel welcome in, spaces that provide you the opportunity and the space to love yourself more. And that is week 2 and 3. Focusing on and decluttering your environments, whether that be social media, your home, your work environments, the people you spend time with. Take a look the next 2 weeks at all of the physical around you and all of the mental around you. All of the things that might feel overwhelming, like when you open a drawer and immediately feel overwhelmed by how much clutter is in there. Focus on that. Or maybe it's an environment like work when you immediately walk through the door and you are drowning in stress and overwhelm. Maybe just a small protection visualization can help you go into that space feeling a lot more confident and knowing that nothing can get through that barrier that you've set. Whatever decluttering your environments looks for you, I hope that you use week 2 and week 3 of the Self-Love 100 to create spaces that you absolutely love. As I mentioned, there will not be a new episode next week because we will be celebrating self-love at our Self-Love Expo Bloom happening at Bell Works in Homedale, New Jersey on September 28th. We will be back the weekend right after, back to regular, same old schedule for week 4. So I will see you back here on October 5th at 12 o'clock Eastern Time. And don't forget to download the Self-Love 100. Your free download is available in my link in bio, in my description, the show notes. It's everywhere, I promise you. And if anything, you can go to theselflovearchives.com to download it for free. I cannot wait to hear all about how you've decluttered your whole entire life and created spaces for you to love yourself more. I'll see you back here for week number 4. Bye.